Hello friends, we are back out getting ready to plant some more stuff in the garden. We're up at the chicken coop right now, and behind me is our pile of chicken fertilizer, well, chicken manure, and wood shavings. So we're going to throw that into the garden just to add some more nutrients, because we're actually planting our tomatoes in the same spot we did last year. I don't know if you can see what's happening around my face right now, but there's so many mosquitoes. So I'm out with my thermocell, and I also sprayed some bug spray on my pants this morning because they keep landing on my pants and biting through my jeans. So I'm super not excited about that stuff. So, but we live in the woods, and so mosquitoes are going to be, you know, just part of our life. So really finding something that works to keep us you know, able to keep working is ideal. So I also have the kids brought home oh, these are tangled. These are some really leggy sunflowers. The kids brought home some sunflowers from school for Mother's Day, so we get to plant these, and some are good. So I've also heard that they can suck all of the nutrients out of a lot, like a big distance of soil. So we're gonna plant these somewhere interesting, maybe by the chicken coop. Let's think about that. So I have 2 in this one pot and 1 in a second pot, and yeah, we're gonna take that down to the garden and plant them today. I also forgot to say before that today they're calling for it to be 28. Feels like 30 or 31 Celsius, which is pretty dang hot here. So we're gonna try to get all this done before it gets too hot and head back into the house, because yeah, we're gonna be dying out here in the sunshine.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just 2 hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be 2 hearts running wild.
So we planted our tomato plants nice and deep. We pruned off the indeterminate branches first, the lower leaves, and then planted them nice and deep, so that way more of the stalk can actually root. These ones are a lot smaller. They're not as, you know, mature as our beefsteak here. So hopefully these will catch up. I'm sure it'll be fine. We put some basil, oregano, and some thyme. Really need some thyme.
Ground's nice and loose. Grass pellets is popping out. Planting them about, I guess they're about 18 inches apart. What do you think? Is that about 18 inches? To 2 feet or so apart?
18 to 2 feet.
Yeah. And I'm planting them underneath our strings, which we're going to replace the strings probably with something a little bit sturdier this year, so that we can string them up even once they're a little bit bigger. Going back to cover, which is just the straw that we'll use as mulch afterwards. Once these guys get a little bit bigger, we'll need to come back and mulch them in a couple of weeks. Because they're so tiny. I can't believe how small these guys are. They're a little bit dry too. That's why I know. Goodness. So I'm digging a deep hole, and okay, so a deep hole, so twice as deep probably as this, and then I pull the piece out. Don't mind all the bugs in my face. I'm picking off all of these like lower leaves, because, and this would be more evident on some of the bigger plants, these little hairs here on the edge, on the side of the tomato, all these little hairs will turn into big roots. So we're gonna get a lot more roots like these at the bottom here if we plant those below the ground. So I'm gonna basically plant it really deep. I'll hill up the dirt around it once these plants get a little bit bigger. And then all these little hairs will turn into nice thick roots that will help anchor the plant in the ground, because we all know how tomato plants like to fall over. So we need lots of roots to make sure they're nice and strong. So I'm just gonna plant this guy really deep. And you guys saw me add compost earlier. Sorry, it's not really compost, it's chicken manure. We added chicken manure. There's lots of worms in here. This is a great lush, look at how dark this soil is, babe. It's awesome, eh? And this is where we planted our tomatoes last year, but we're adding the compost to give it some nutrients back to the soil. And it was basically completely virgin soil when we planted. So should still have enough nutrients in it. And then hopefully next year we'll have a better idea of where the permanent location for the garden will be once we get all these trees cleared out of the way and we have a little bit of a better look at what the ground and the soil and everything, and sorry, where the house location ends up being, because we don't want the garden to be too far away from the house, because we have to be here like a lot. Yeah, so that's it. And then I press the soil down so it's nice and deep around, like nice and firm around to the bottom of the plant, and then push back the rest of the dirt so we can hill it up when it's time, like when we get a little bit more rooting happening there once the plant grows. And then we'll water it. That's it. That's how we plant our tomatoes. And this is a great many years of tomato planting that we've been doing ourselves ever since we had a teeny tiny little house in the city. Right, darling?
Teeny tiny little backyard.
Yeah, little tiny house in the city. I'm talking about rental. Yep. Where we started. And then, yeah, we've planted a couple cherry tomato plants back then because we like those for salads. And this year we do lots of paste. We're doing lots of aromas for sauce. So, because I'm not gonna lie, I bought 2 bushels of tomatoes last year from the grocery store because we didn't plant near enough. I planted, how many plants did we plant? Like 9 last year. So 9 last year. We got enough to make 1 nice big batch of salsa, which turned out so good. And I used the Prairie Homestead's recipe, and that was awesome. And then this year we're basically a little more than double, so we're doing 20 paste tomatoes, a beefsteak, and a cherry, because we still like those fresh ones in the summertime for, salads and burgers and all that fun stuff. And yeah, so we're doing 20 romas, and hopefully that will give us some. So, okay, so what I was saying about the 2 bushels of tomatoes. We had 2 bushels of tomatoes I bought at the store last year, and that made us enough sauce to last until, I think January was the first time I had to make sauce from a can. Canned tomatoes was in January, and then I just did it again a couple of weeks ago. Well, April? End of April, I think it was. Yeah. So maybe a month ago. I used, diced tomatoes and pureed tomatoes. Yeah, so that was crazy. So what do you think?
Excellent day.
Probably need like more herbs long term, but yeah. I also am thinking about putting them in a planter, maybe by the house.
By the house, yeah.
Yeah, maybe on the deck or something. That way we can have, I'm saying deck as if I have one, but up at the cabin at least. That way, we can take some bunches and dry them and that kind of thing. That'll be great. So, two more tomatoes here, and then we're gonna put 4 on the trellis. We've done trellises before. I have a few photos of how the tomatoes turned out on the trellis at our last house. They were like taller than my head. What are you looking at?
Chipmunk.
Oh, there's a chipmunk coming to visit us. Hi, Chippy.
Don't know if you can see him.
Oh.
He just took off into his hole.
Fingerprint doesn't work. My thumb's too dirty. Apparently I hit a spot with a tiny bit of service right here.
fun.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, so yeah, so we did our tomatoes on the trellis at our previous house. They were taller than these trellises. These are the trellises that we brought from the old house. They were taller than the trellis. The tomatoes got so tall. I have a picture of me standing in the, if I can find it, I'll include it here in the video. Yeah, it was wild. But we also tried to plant too many tomato plants on the trellises that year. So they were really, really tight together, which is not ideal. That's why we're trying our best to spread them out and see how many tomatoes we can get off these puppies, because yeah, so much fun. And last year here we had a really wet summer, and so there wasn't a ton of sunshine, which is hard for the tomatoes to really ripen. So we ended up taking forever to get ripe tomatoes. I think they ripened mostly end of August, early September, right? And then half of them even ripened in the house because I pulled them all before the frost came. I pulled all the green tomatoes and took them up to the house to see if they would ripen up there. And most of them did. And as they ripened, I just threw them in the freezer. And so that was my secret with, you know, not having enough ripe tomatoes at any one point last year. I spent, I put, I don't know, what, 10 Ziploc bags of tomatoes in the freezer, and then we use those to make our salsa, which is great because when you freeze tomatoes, the skins fall off. It's like blanching them. So that was really cool. Oh, there's a worm.
I'm gonna put the sunflowers.
Do you want to put them over there? No?
No.
Okay. Mike was watching a video the other day that showed someone planted sunflowers at the end of their rows of onions, and the onions on the far end of the row were big and beautiful and bushy, and the ones closest to the sunflowers were basically tiny and just not growing very well. So our intention is to plant the sunflowers far away from our actual vegetables. I also might plant them up at the house somewhere, like when when the house is built.
Yeah.
Maybe plant them like up at the house because I would like, you know, flowers. I want to do flowers by the house.
We need all the pollinators.
Well, that's it, right? What do we say? We had 10 over there and then 8 more here, so 18 plants, including our beefsteak and our cherry, which are at the far end there. Awesome. So we have 4 more to go. And we're going to put 2 on each end of the trellis. This is sweet. Very exciting. All right. So this is where I planted the cucumber last year. And that side had sugar snap peas on it, I think.
That far side, yes.
Yeah, sugar snap peas over there. Oh, I got a bite. A new bite. Surprise, surprise. But the weather's going to be nice. They're not calling for anywhere near freezing for the next, well, really it's like a week is our like safe zone, and then we should be good. It's the weekend before Memorial Day if you're in the States. It's Victoria Day here in Canada, and normally, I mean, last year we planted the second week of June, which was a little bit late for us, but this weekend last year we had trees here, so I thought we did pretty good.
Yeah.
So we were cutting down trees May 24th weekend last year, Victoria Day weekend. Then we had the excavator in the week after. Cool. Where's the cucumber? Do you want to pass that to me since I'm here?
Quite welcome. As you can see, the hoods are down.
Yeah, I think because we're out in the sun, the mosquitoes are not as bad. The black flies are happy right now, though. They're in my face, which is lovely. Snacker. So these are, maybe you can't see through the trellis, baby. These are little cucumbers. They're not quite pickling, but they're not full-length cucumbers either.
That's right, they're the 4 to 5 inch cucumbers. They're the ones you get in the packages, like the bushels at the grocery store.
As pickling or what?
Nope, as snack cucumbers.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
And they should trellis just like regular cucumber plants, so we're gonna grow up. Oh, look at, there's still stuff on here. They wrap around real good. Yeah. So this is an abbreviated garden, as we talked about in the last garden video. Yeah, we're really just growing staples that we can save, like potatoes and onions. And
tomatoes are for the sauces.
Tomatoes for sauces, and then 100%. And then I bought a spinach. I'm gonna take that up to the house, and I'll probably plant, what's that guy? Oh, a jalapeno.
For the salsa.
Jalapeno for salsa, that's right. Yeah, so that's gonna go over there. You didn't rake anything there yet.
Nope, not yet.
Wanna...
That's where the Brussels sprouts were last year.
That's right. What's with this giant bamboo stick? This is crazy. It's not really. Okay, so two more tomatoes over there, and then tomatoes are in. And then we gotta figure out how to water them all.
Yeah.
Super fun. I'm gonna take these. Oh. Now we can go back over here. So there's a big rock on that side of the trellis, so we're gonna plant the tomatoes on this side.
Big rock on both sides, unfortunately.
Oh, well then we'll just hill up the dirt around it. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter what side of the trellis we're on. I just wish we'd brought our bean seeds down, because our beans and sugar snap peas are favorites of ours to just eat raw. So
just to come down and snack in the garden.
Yeah. For example, last year our sugar snap peas never made it up to the house. All of them were eaten in the garden.
Yeah.
Which is kind of wild, but it happened. Oh, I don't know where we left off because the camera's sitting in the sun, so it overheated at some point in the last 2 minutes. Because the last time I looked up, it was running. When I moved it over here, it was running. Here's a rock. Yeah, so tomatoes on the trellis, rocks all over the place, and sugar snap peas never make it out of the garden. That was basically what I was saying for the last 5 minutes. Before the camera overheated. It's one of the high capacity batteries, which are actually good for like cold weather. Unfortunately, it also doesn't like the hot weather. So the blue GoPro batteries are better for the summer, but we only had one charged one of those. So here we are fighting the weather yet again. All right, and so the camera overheated yet again. I don't know if it's gonna last right now, but we will see what we can do. I planted our 2 tomatoes here on this end of the trellis, and then over in the center, I planted, can't really see it, so let's go over there. There is our jalapeno. So that will make us some nice salsa, hopefully later this summer. And yeah, so super excited about a nice basic garden this year. Of course, I always want to plant all the things like carrots and lots of peppers, and we did corn last year. That didn't really go too well. I mean, it was okay, but I don't really think it was like delicious. I would also love to plant popping corn because we love popcorn here, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, so long-term popcorn, if that could be really fun. Popcorn is a good one. I want to plant lots of carrots. I might have like a huge area of carrots because we love carrots, peppers, yeah, maybe some beets. I don't know, all the things. Last year we planted some squash and that did really well. Pumpkins did really well. Yeah, if you guys missed that video, I'll link it in the description box where we talked about the garden last year, how well it did. Mike just went to check on the spring that's kind of behind our property. There's a little stream back there. I planted 60 cloves of garlic in the fall, and we got 50 coming up right now. So I'm pretty excited about that. Some of them are really tiny, some of them are huge, which is exciting. But we took our largest cloves and planted those, and our largest, what do you call them? What are they called? Cloves? Or, yeah, sure. Largest cloves of garlic went into the ground, and hopefully they will make some nice big heads of garlic for us. Probably end of July, which is when we harvested last year, but they were up at the house. Wow, you got mosquito. Yeah. Crazy town. Awesome.
It's crazy in there.
Yeah, kind of crazy up at the house, the cabin.
Okay.
So, how does it look? Come and talk to me.
So,
Watch the jalapeno.
Yep.
Somewhere around here.
Right there.
Yeah.
So there is still a trickle.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll dig it out,
Make a bit of a pool.
make a bit of a pool, and then.
It's kind of far to pump it all the way up here, though, isn't it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So you thinking about putting it in there?
Yeah.
In the tote. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And is it like straight back like that?
Yeah, we can bring it straight up this way.
Okay. How far?
So it's definitely more than a 6-foot drop, and so 6-foot drop. I know people, well, not personally, but I've seen them go 1,800 feet on a 6-foot drop.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a passive ram pump, right? So no electricity. It like prime it and it's good to go forever.
Yeah.
It'll pump water forever. So every spring we'll probably set it up.
Yeah.
You might want to go that way with some tree felling then, because you got to do that anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that guy falling down over in the middle there.
Yeah.
Leany one. Anyway, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's still going right now. It's been dry for 2 weeks.
Where's the sunshine?
Yeah.
To get rid of these mosquitoes again.
So we're hoping that we can get some, I'm gonna say free water, even though all of our water is free.
Yeah, well, it's just gas to pump it. Like if we have to go
Yeah.
drive somewhere to get spring water, right? Like that's what we just used to water all the stuff.
Yeah.
Was spring water that we brought from our local spring, which is 20-25 minutes away
20 minutes.
by car. So it takes a bit. Like, I mean, it's fine because that's also where the dump is, and
Yeah.
so we can make multiple reasons
Not in the same
for a
spot.
trip.
We're not drinking dump spring water.
No, but you drive by the spring to go to the dump. It's
Yeah.
like down the road further, but it's still in the same vicinity.
But I definitely brought all the mosquitoes back with me.
Yeah, you sure did. Oh my goodness, wow.
Holy smokes.
You are, but also the sun is gone. There's a cloud hanging over top, so that's probably why that's the case.
So, but that whole ram pump will be a totally different video.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll actually do it soon.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not supposed to rain for 2 days, so like it's Monday right now and it's not supposed to rain until Wednesday. Tuesday night into Wednesday, I think. I have to double check that. But yeah, they're also hanging out on my pants now.
So here's hoping.
Yeah. The garlic's looking good. We did pick another, the asparagus, only some of it came back. It looks like that's what we did not know about last time when we talked about the garden. None of the asparagus have come back. It looks like we have, what, 4 bunches? Including some purple, which is kind of wild because the purple looked completely dead when we planted it last year.
Yeah.
It did not do anything last year, and then we thought it was gone. So we planted it thinking, hey, we'll see what happens.
And it's the only stuff that came back up.
And it came up, and I think there's 1, maybe 2 of the little green bunches that were here from before, which were last year's supply. That was what we brought in the pot. I'm gonna plant some lavender, put it up by the house for the door. I've read that lavender is good at keeping mosquitoes away. I'd really like that to be the case because last year we planted lemongrass and it did nothing. The mosquitoes were all still really bad at the house.
At the doorway.
At the cabin, yeah.
Yep.
We had a pot at the door and it didn't really do a whole lot. What I think is funny, okay, so, and you guys may or may not understand why this is happening, but if you notice, let's just use the camera. Back there, see the edge of the garden fence where the orange fence is. There's literally nothing growing just beyond it. But inside, all kinds of greenness. Yes, there is definitely some green happening by the forest, at the edge of the woods there. But there's like a big band and it goes like all the way around. There's lots of green on the inside. Not so much back there, but up this way. Not a whole lot. Like, look at all the grass right there. That used to be the gate that we came in from last year's garden. And so lots of grass and green stuff growing on the inside, but not really a whole lot happening outside it, which I think is wild. So anyone who wants to debate me on the merits of electricity around your garden, let's go. I'm just kidding. No, I think that's what it is. I think because we have electricity running around the outside of the garden, that's why everything's growing on the inside. It's like its own magnetic or electric field causing stuff to grow, which is super cool.
I somehow just got service.
Yeah, I did over there too. My phone was going off.
Huh.
It's in my pocket, but it doesn't really do anything. It's a paperweight right now.
Yeah.
All right. So that's all we got. And yeah. If you guys want to check out this video, you can watch this one next.
And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps the channel out greatly. Like, share, comment.
Yeah.
All positive comments, please. Just kidding. Comment whatever you want.
Yeah. Basically, we'll message you back, or we'll comment back.
Yeah, we're
we're replying to as many comments as possible. And yeah, if you have any tips or tricks that we are missing on some of the things that we're growing here, then let us know.
Yeah.
We've been doing tomatoes for a long time, but I always like to hear like
the way other people do it.
Yeah, totally. But also, like, we learned most likely from YouTube about planting the plants really deep from, I think it was Next Level Gardening. He did a tomato video that said plant your tomatoes really deep because all the little hairs turn into roots, and his video has like 5 million views or something crazy. Definitely a viral video, so that one was really cool. And then you were talking about, you watched an Epic Gardening video that talked about the tomatoes and something else. Oh, not putting compost underneath them because it takes nutrients away from
The plant.
the plant while it tries to compost the dirt, or the compost, the stuff you put on top to compost. So that's interesting too. We added chicken manure to our garden this year, which is different for us. We've never done that before. But I also don't usually plant my tomatoes or anything in the same spot as I did last year. We're really trying to be as, I don't know, hands off the garden as we can be this year, because we gotta build a house.
Yeah.
Gotta finish my studio and build a house.
We have to mill a lot of lumber.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yeah, so. Why are you standing there off camera?
Because I was too tired to walk the extra 4 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you like to go for a sandwich?
Ooh.
It's egg salad, but it's still a sandwich.
It is a sandwich.
On a hamburger bun.
That's fun.
All right.
Because you're not warm enough?
How about I just love you?
Well, it's a good thing because I'm sweaty.
Yeah, I don't really like your smell right now.
Hey. That's my bourbon barrel whiskey stuff.
Yeah.